come back on, give you a quick view if you can see it. Straight ahead is the Kennesaw Mountain, where there was a large Civil War battle. The Johnny Rebs were up on the mountain, and Sherman and the damn Yankees were coming from our right to attack it. They had to take Kennesaw before they could burn Atlanta to the ground. I thought you might get a chance to see it. I'm gonna pop in here to the old Wally World and pick up a few little things, and before the weather either gets bad again or gets a lot colder. Can handle the temperature, but I don't like being cold and wet at the same time. So anyway, let's scoot on here into the old Walmart parking lot, see what's happening there. I saw a joke the other day, I thought it was really funny. It said what Walmart needs to do is put in an observation lounge and a bar upstairs, so you can sit and watch the stuff that goes on at Walmart. I know you guys have seen the videos of the crazy people dressed up going into the Walmarts. They don't usually come out this time of day, but if you want to have some fun, if you got a Walmart in your area that stays open 24 hours, go in there about 1 o'clock in the morning. Just hang around for a little while. You won't believe what you'll see. It's a blast. Alrighty, well, I'm hearing a lot now, so let me see if I can find a spot to park, and I'll go up here the wrong way and see if I can't. There was a spot, but I'll get one right here. Might have to bring a cart out with me, who knows. There we go. Alright guys, well, we'll be back in a bit. Okay guys, successful trip to the Wally World. Got my required items, and got the clouds back over my shoulder, but I'm not far from home, so it won't be any problem getting home. I'll take you through the parking lot. You see how wet it is through here. We've had a ton of rain. It rained all day yesterday, hard. It rained the day before that, and it's rained some this morning. And I'm hoping that that little line of clouds out there is the last little bit, and it may not even hit us in this area. There's a chance it may blow north of us. But the weather, I can't complain about the weather. It's got to be 60, maybe 61 or 2 right now. The sun is out. The sun feels great. Haven't seen the sun in so long. But just to get out here on the bike, don't know when I'm going to get to ride her next. The temperature is going to drop significantly today, and I think it's only supposed to be in the 40s for the next few days, and that's a little bit below my personal minimums, unless I just really get to jonesing so bad I can't stand it. The gear I have is warm enough, so it shouldn't be a problem. But sure does look beautiful out here right now. Now, those clouds there are no danger. Those are going the other way. These ones right over here are the ones that could come and get me. But like I said, I'm going to make it home long before I ever get there. Before they ever get to me. But hope everybody's having a fine winter, spring season, and hope it's things are going to warm up for you soon there. I'm really looking forward to putting a ton of miles on this bike this year, and so I'm sure I'll have to do a little bit of service work on her here pretty soon when it does finally warm up good. Probably use an oil change about now. Have to look at my mileage and see. But she's been a good old girl for me. She's taking care of me pretty good. Only time she laid down on me was that time that one of the battery terminals got a little bit loose or corroded or both, and she didn't think she was going to start. I really miss the old Kickstarters. I know it might be hard to kick over a 1300. I'm sure I've kicked over something that big before, because that's all that we used to have back in the day was, you know, not a whole lot of them had electric starters. Electric starter and associated battery weighs a lot. If you're trying to keep things light, you don't put them on there. Put a Kickstarter and a magneto, and you go from there. I did want to tell you, well, real quick thing. My wife, as many of you know, is a flight attendant, and she was telling me an interesting story. She flies on a plane regularly that goes from coast to coast that might be a 4 or 5 hour trip. It'll have 190, 200 people on it. Well, the airline she works for, in their wisdom, might put 12 or 13 sandwiches on that airplane to be sold. So if you're not right there in the first couple of rows that she pushes that cart up to, you're not going to get any fresh food. You might get some peanuts or something like that, but that's about it. Now, if you fly first class, no problems. They always have food for the people in first class because you pay extra for that. Pay for a hot meal. But back in steerage, where I fly, with all the chickens and cattle, if you're not in the first row or so, you don't get a sandwich. And they're expensive anyway, about $8 for a really crummy sandwich that you wouldn't make at home. But hey, they're in the business of flying you from one area to the other. Everybody wants the cheapest price possible. But what I was going to suggest was this. I'm not a big long-time flyer. A lot of you guys have put in a lot more miles than I have, but since I've got somebody in the family who's in the business, here's what she does and what we do when we fly for our own personal transportation when she's not working. In the United States now in TSA, you can only bring just so much liquid through. I think it's a very small amount, so it's not worth trying to bring a Coke or a drink or anything like that with you onto the airplane. But you can bring food. So what we do, we usually stop at a Subway or someplace like that and get a couple of sandwiches made, and we'll bring those with us. We'll bring our own sandwiches. And it's something that we want and something that we normally eat. Now, once you get through security, there's always food court areas and things like that for you to visit. And that's when you go to the newsstand or the little convenience store and you pick up a soft drink or two or so whatever else you want to drink, and pack that away as well. And put it in your carry-on. And now you're set. Pick you up a magazine or a CD, whatever you want to, take with you, because you're not going to get much on the flights anymore. That's not their fault. They have to be competitive. You've got the JetBlues and the other economy lines that are just killing them on the fares. And face it, if I can go coast to coast for $150 instead of $450, just because I get a sandwich on the higher price flight, I'm going to go the cheaper route every time if I can. Of course, being married to a flight attendant, I don't have that problem. I'm what they call a non-revenue passenger. I get to fly for free. That's what stewardesses always say. Marry me and you fly for free. Unfortunately, I'm not a big traveler in terms of flying airplanes. I'd much rather ride the bike somewhere or even drive and have a car on the ground when we get wherever we're going so we can get around and have a good time. And I know I could rent something when I get to the other end, but I'm tight. What can I tell you? Even though the airfare is free, everything else would be expensive. So anyway, just thought I'd give you that little heads up on next time you go flying. It doesn't really matter what airline it is. The food's going to be crappy because really they don't care. It's not their job anymore. All right, guys. Well, back in the neighborhood, so you guys take care. Bye-bye.